Assalamu alaikum student and good morning everyone. We are doing chapter number 5, that is inside the atom. In this chapter we have studied about the John Dalton. John Dalton was the first scientist who discovered the structure of an atom. According to John Dalton, the atoms are indivisible, atoms are indestructible, okay, and atoms of a different material are different. Atoms of a same material is alike, atoms of a different materials are different. If we see the atoms of a iron and atom, compare the atom of iron and atoms of plastics, okay, both these substances are different, so the structure of their atoms are also be different. Then we have seen the second scientist whose name is the John Thomson, also be known as the J.J. Thomsons. According to J.J. Thomsons, J.J. Thomson, he discovered the one of a very important part in an atom. J.J. Thomson discovered that atoms are indestructible. Atoms of a different materials are different, but the atoms has a two subatomic particle. One is a positive subatomic particle and another one is a negative particles. Here negative particles are represented with the green color, and these negative particles, they are embedded in a positive particle. Positive particles are uniformly distributed on an atom, and there are the negative particles which are embedded, which are placed in that positive particle. This one was discovered by J.J. Thomson, and for this discovery J.J. Thomson also got the Nobel Prize. Then the third scientist who came forward and proposed the theory of an atom is the Ernest Rutherford. Rutherford was the scientist who discovered that this positive charges which are present, Thomson said that positive charges are uniformly distributed all over the atom. And in a Rutherford atomic model, if you will see here, you find the positive charges are present in a center, and he labeled that center as a nucleus, and negative charges, they revolve around a nucleus. So yesterday we have seen the Rutherford experiment, gold foil scattering experiment, and the Rutherford atomic model. That is, positive charges are present in a nucleus and negative charges are revolving around a nucleus. And one more thing he has discovered, that the number of positive charges and the number of negative charges are equal. Okay, then today let's see the next scientist who came forward and explain the stability of an atom, because Rutherford said what the electrons revolves in a outermost orbit around a nucleus, so electrons are negatively charged. And if suppose there are more and more number of electrons, okay, there are more and more number of negative charges in a around a nucleus, that means in a orbit, if more and more electrons will be there, then there will be a negative, there will be a repulsion. So if there is a repulsion between the like charges, how these like charges will be present in a one orbit? So there was a question on the stability of an atom which came over here. So the next scientist who came forward and explained the stability of atom is the David Bohr. He was a Danish physicist who made a foundational contribution to understand the structure of atom, and the most important is the quantum theory. For this discovery he received the Nobel Prize in 1922. According to Niels Bohr, if you will see in this diagram, okay, Niels Bohr also suggested that there is one central part in an atom, and that central part in an atom have all the positive charges. All positive charges are present in the center, and he also label it as a nucleus. But all the negative, they will not revolve in one orbit. According to Niels Bohr, those negative charges, here I am representing the negative charges with the E, and there are how many negative charges in the first orbit that you see over here? There are only two negative charges which revolve in the first shell of an atom. And then there are the second shell of an atom. In that second shell of an atom, which is the electrons, which is represented over here with the blue color. If you will count the number of electrons here, in a second shell you find there are how many electrons? There are 8 electrons which are present, and these 8 electrons also revolve around a nucleus. Okay, and if suppose there are more number of electrons, then the more number of shells will form. Electrons will revolve in a different shell which was discovered by the Niels Bohr. Okay, Niels Bohr says that there is a first shell. He labeled the first shell as the K shell. Okay, the second shell, which is represented with the blue color over here, is the L shell. Third shell, which is represented with the black color, is the M shell, and the pink color shell, which is the N shell. So he explained that the electrons revolve in a different orbit, different shell in a atom. Okay, they are not present only in a one shell, because here it is not possible to have all the negative charges in one shell. There may be a repulsion, there may be instability in that particular atom. So let's see what are the different points that the Niels Bohr explain about the atom. As you see over here in this, there are more positive charges which are present. If you will count these positive charges, there are total 18 positive charges. As there are total 18 positive charges, that means 18 protons are there. So how many electrons will be there? The same number of electrons will be there. That means if 18 positive are there, so 18 negative should be there. Okay, so those 18 negative will not revolve in a one shell, they will revolve in a different shell. In first shell, how many electrons will revolve? Only 2 electrons. Okay, then the remaining electrons will go into the next shell. Okay, here in a second shell, how many electrons are there? 8, and only 8 will occupy in this. There is a place for only 8 electron in the second shell. Okay, so where the other shells, here if we will count in both the shell, is it a 18 electron? No. So how many electrons are there in these two shell? There are total 10 electrons. Now remaining 8 electron, they will go into the next shell, they will form third shell. So in this way, if you will see, the electron distributed in the different shell or different orbit. Okay, so this is the distribution of electron which was explained by the Niels Bohr. He also said that the electrons revolved around the nucleus in a different orbit. The second point, what he explained, the energy of electrons. If we consider the energy of a orange color electron and the green color electron, both of these electrons will have the different energy. Why they have the different energy? Because they are present in a different shell, they are present in a different orbits. That's why they have the different energy. If we will consider the energy of this green color and this green color, so as both of them are present in one orbit, in a first orbit, in a first shell, so both of these electrons will have the same amount of energy. The amount of energy in a blue color electron, which is represented here with a blue color, they all have the same amount of energy. But if you will compare the energy between orange one and the blue one, there will be a difference in their energy. When the electron jumps from inner orbit to an outer orbit, it absorbs the energy equal to the difference in their energy level. And the fourth point, when it jumps from outer orbit to inner orbit, it emits the energy equal to the difference of its energy level. These 2 points we will discuss more in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, as we are remaining with very short period of a time here, we will revise what we did in today's lecture. We have done we under this particular chapter we have seen the first scientist. The name of that scientist is the Dalton, and Dalton suggested that the atoms are indivisible, indestructible. Atoms of a different elements are different. Okay, then the next one is the J.J. Thomson. According to J.J. Thomson, the atoms have the different subatomic particle, which is positive and negative. Positive is evenly distributed all over the atom, negatives are embedded in it. Then after a J.J. Thomson, the next scientist who came forward and explained the atomic theory is the Ernest Rutherford. According to Rutherford, these positive charges are present in a nucleus and negative charges revolve around a nucleus. And the fourth scientist, Neil Bohr. Neil Bohr suggested that the positive charges are in a nucleus, but all the negative will not revolve in one orbit. The negative charges, that means the electron, they revolve in a different orbit, and that's why the atoms are stable. So this is about our today's lecture. You all have to draw these four diagrams, that is Dalton atomic model, J.J. Thomson's atomic model, Ernest Rutherford atomic model, and Neil Bohr's atomic model in your file, and you have to show it to me on the Google Classroom. Thank you everyone.